Hi, this is Jonathan Adler for the U.S. Nationalist Report. I'm continuing my coverage, investigation, and reporting on downtown LA, neighborhoods here. Right now, I'm back at City Hall. Let me take a look at this new park here. This is a relatively new park, and the Columbus statue is supposedly here somewhere. Last I heard, they boarded it up. In case you weren't aware, if you're from out of town or you're not keeping up with political news here, the LA Board of Supervisors and the City Council is intending on destroying our Christopher Columbus statue. This is a great symbol of American history and European settlement in the New World. And the globalists are trying to destroy this important patriotic symbol. They claim that Columbus had something to do with slavery, which is a lie. He wasn't some big slave owner or trafficking slaves. He was mainly an explorer working for the Spanish crown. He was hired to investigate the New World and look for resources here. So I'm going to take a look around here and just checking. There's a lot of weird people in here. Okay, so what the government here is doing, they have this very PC government. They're always putting out disinformation and lies, and they're claiming that that so-called indigenous people should have a sculpture statue, and people from the European nations should not have a statue, or there should not be any statue commemorating American history. Now, this is what you call politically correct doublespeak and lies intended to break down our culture. Remember, there's a purpose behind this. They're not doing this because they're so called liberal or they're trying to do the right thing. What they're really trying to do is break down our culture so they can eventually bring in their one world government where there will be no culture, people will be like robots. They plan to make people asexual so humans don't breed anymore. This is a very, very dangerous journey they're trying to take us on. So we all need to be waking up to this one world agenda, and we need to take a stand and demand that they back off this assault and this attempt to obliterate our great United States culture. Now, one of the claims they're making is that there's no indigenous people statue, and that, but the reality is there's really no such thing as indigenous people in the Americas. It's a fact that the so-called indigenous people um, actually migrated here from what's now called Mongolia. There was a land bridge where the Aleutian Islands are now. That was actually solid land over 10,000 years ago. So when this was land, Asians from what's now called Mongolia, they were nomadic tribes from Asia, migrated over the land bridge uh, over what's now the Aleutian Islands and Alaska, and they basically spread out and colonized the Americas, what we call the Americas. Now, so the fact is, the historical fact is, these aren't indigenous people, and their culture is not superior to European culture. Anybody that has any kind of basic understanding of the so-called Native American or the Latin American history before Europeans were here knew that the Aztecs, the Incas, had a very immoral, brutal culture. A big part of it was sacrificing children to their gods like Quetzalcoatl. They would actually murder their children, a lot of times their firstborn children, to appease what they thought were these deities. So these people are basically idol worshippers, pagans, engaged in massive human sacrifice. They're constantly killing each other in tribal battles. And so the fact is they had no moral superiority over our culture. So we have no moral obligation to cede over anything about our sovereign country to these invaders. They're not indigenous and they do not have any moral claim to California and the American Southwest. So as we know, we need to deport the illegals, push them out of our country, and only accept people that want to embrace our culture and our values and be proud American citizens. And as I've reminded people, that's not the only issue. Like I said, it's also a way we have to fight the New World Order agenda. Because if they break up the United States, they'll be able to complete their end game to enslave the whole planet. And once they get full control over the 99.9%, they plan to implement mass extermination. If you want documentation on that, I recommend watch Alex Jones' documentary, Endgame Blueprint for Global Enslavement. So I'm going to walk around this park here at the Los Angeles City Hall. And oh yeah, one thing I was going to mention is the people that want to tear down the statue, they are trying to create conflict by trying to make patriots angry and nationalists, proud Americans angry by tearing the statue down. When if they really wanted to get along with people and actually solve problems and not create conflict, they would just say, let's put up a Native American statue. The correct term is Native American, not indigenous. And Native Americans are a proud part of our society, and there's no reason they can't put up a statue. It doesn't mean we have to tear down the Christopher Columbus statue, but the globalists and their stooges and the government here are trying to provoke people and create race conflict and culture conflict using these identity politics kind of tactics, these dangerous tactics to try to get everybody fighting each other. So we don't want to fall for their agenda. We want a peaceful, civilized approach to this. And I believe the best approach is to be proud of our Christopher Columbus statue. And there's no reason we can't put up another statue for Native Americans and their contribution to the United States. We don't want to put up a so-called indigenous statue and tear down the Columbus statue because that falls into the globalists' plans to eviscerate and eliminate cultures in all sovereign countries and make everybody basically acultural. So we want to avoid that. So I'm going to walk over to this statue. I did have a rally planned. I had to cancel it because I had other business I was working on. I'm going to reschedule the rally if it's still there. I'm going to see if the statue's still there. If for some reason it's gone, we're going to get organized to put a new statue up because we have to send a message to these criminals, these globalist criminals, that they are not to desecrate our proud American culture. So I will be doing a rally here in Los Angeles at the statue to save what's called SOS, Save Our Statue. The date and the time will be announced. It will be at the statue here. I'll show you the area shortly. It's at this grand park. This grand park adjacent to City Hall. So I'm going to move the camera over to the landscape. As you can see, we have the homeless all over the city here. Here's one here. And almost all these people are homeless citizens. I was just over on Broadway in Maine, and all you see are illegal aliens doing very shady work. I see a lot of them working security, and it's ridiculous that they're doing security jobs when they're here illegally. You know, while we have our citizens here forced to sleep on the street. So I'm going to look around here. As you can see, we have the city hall here. Take a look around this park. Some guy doing exercises here. I do try to talk to fellow Americans, but unfortunately, a lot of the street people have serious mental issues or they're on drugs, so it's dangerous to approach a lot of these people. Uh, so this is called Grand Park. Grand Park here. As you can see, we have a growing metro system, subway system. And here's a map of the Civic Center and the Grand Park. So if you ever visit Los Angeles, this is a good place to visit. And take a look around here. We also have a metro stop here, Civic Center, Grand Park Metro stop. So I'm going to take a look around. Interesting that the two guards I saw are, just give me a minute here. There's a lot of strange people walking around. People with mental illnesses here. Like I said, that's okay, but if they start doing violence and threatening people, they need to be locked up like anybody else. So we have some nice artwork here. It's kind of interesting artwork. And this iconic City Hall here that's been featured in a lot of famous TV shows and movies. In particular is Dragnet. You may know about Dragnet. That was a famous detective show in the 50s starring Jack Webb. I think he also wrote it. So here we have the City Hall, and we have a nice menorah here. So that's a good sign that that's an indication of our religious freedom, our First Amendment that guarantees freedom of religion. And we want to protect that. The globalists want to destroy our First Amendment. As you know, Facebook and other cartel-type social media sites are launching vicious assaults on our First Amendment. I should be done with my suspension. I was suspended for 30 days from Facebook simply because I stated a headline, a news headline from a news site that Muslims in Spain were poisoning people's dogs. So it has nothing to do with hate, that's just stating news. So if somebody can't state news just because there's a negative connotation, then that's a direct attack on our First Amendment. There's no arguing that. Okay, so I'm going to look around here, try to figure out where this Christopher Columbus statue is. I may have gotten rid of it. Should be very sad. Let me take a look around here. This appears to be a Vietnam memorial here. Some type of war memorial. Or I guess it's flags. Some type of flags here. This is Lake Erie flag. From, here's the Star Spangled Banner here. And this is some interesting information here. Let's see if I can find the statue. I have a bad feeling they may have removed it, which would be pretty sad. Last I heard, they didn't remove it. They boarded it up. Well, maybe they went ahead and took it down. And like I said, we can't let them keep getting away with this stuff. Might not seem like a big deal, but it is, because this is the way they're basically, the globalists are trying to urinate and desecrate our culture. So we have to start putting a stop to this these vicious attacks on our proud American culture. So, see if I can find this. If I ask these guards, they probably won't even know who Christopher Columbus is. Pretty sad. Maybe I'm wrong. Because they get so many of these guards aren't even here legally, which they should be getting government money. So, trying to find this here. I think maybe I see it. So they did a pretty good job hiding it. If it's still here, keep looking around in search of the Christopher Columbus statue. This could take years, hopefully only minutes. So they got a nice looking Christmas tree here. You know where Christopher Columbus statue is? You don't know? So I guess that guy's American, but he has no idea where it is. I don't want to ask him if he knew who Christopher Columbus was, because I'm worried he probably wouldn't know. Might be in some of this overgrowth here. Maybe they hid it away in this foliage here. Check this map here. So nothing about a statue, because the globalists want to obliterate our culture. So they go out of their way to erase anything referring to our proud heritage and history. Maybe it's down in this other section. If I find one of these security people, I'll try asking. It's a pretty cushy job just staying around here and look at people. We could use these people on the border instead of here in this park. So I'll take a look down here. It's not looking good here, guys. It's a nice park, but I'm not happy if there's no statue here. Okay, one of these guys look like they're nuts. A lot of crazies. So, not seeing much here, folks. I'll try asking one of the guards. Not looking good. Maybe it was here. Maybe not. Interesting. I'm looking at this playground, and they got Arabic on it, but no Hebrew. So that's kind of ominous. Interesting. We got a whole area here they cleared out. Not sure why. So here's City Hall over here. And can't find it so far. So here's me in the mirror. Want a close up? This is me. City Hall over here. So I'll keep looking, guys. Not looking promising. Also, a lot of you might know that the Interstate Freeway number 10 is also called the Christopher Columbus Freeway. So let's hope they're not going to try to rename the freeway to the Aztec Freeway. All right, let me check over on this side. So interesting, they have all the foreign languages here. They're pushing this globalism that everybody has to be worshiping the global government and their sovereign, not be loyal to their sovereign countries. Some kind of dog park over here. So I'm still trying to figure out where this is. I don't have much luck. It's interesting. You got some foreign looking guy with shirt says spy on it. Could be a spy. That's what happens when you let unlimited numbers of unvetted people into a country. You get all kinds of strange characters trying to spy and make trouble. So, I might have to get back online later because I'm kind of putting up. Nothing's really happening here, so maybe I'll see if the statue's still here and I'll get back on later. I think I'm going to sign off. We'll get back on later. This is Jonathan Adler for the U.S. Nationalist Report. Thank you for watching.